Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie, and this is Weather and Lifestyle News Show. And happy Friday. We're to the weekend. And boy, the weather here is so cool. I'm thinking I might be able to get out and do some stuff this weekend. I've been busy today, very busy. Uh, we're getting ready to go back up to the property and take a look at it. Uh, a lot of people that have me on their Facebook is, and I accept people if you're kind of worried about it. I do accept people onto my personal account. I don't have nothing to hide. No, I'm just crazy. I'm a crazy fool. Huh, Karen? I don't know. Karen likes me. Karen knows a lot about me over the last, what, 12 years. When did we go to Myrtle Beach, Karen? That's when Karen got to know me. And I stood up to this woman that, now let me tell you about mine and Karen's meeting real quick. Um, I had a lady, I did pogo and I hosted games. And I had a very popular games. I did trivia. That's where I get the whole trivia thing from. And so one of my hosts named Tony said she had a friend named Karen and warned me about her, that she was, boy, Karen, the stuff she said, not true. And I'm not even going to go there what she said, because I think she was not right. And so Karen showed up. Me and Karen become really close friends. When I stood up to Tony, I get this, I threw away her Jello shots because we left Myrtle Beach. Everybody left, and I was left with two refrigerators full of food and freezer. And my car was already packed, and we had food galore, and we were unloading food that night. And once I realized that I couldn't fit a lot of what was left, I started throwing stuff away, which was Jello shots. Then we had beer. Oh boy, the beer we had. So I took it. I checked with the neighbors and said, "Hey, does anybody want this beer? Because I can't take it." I even asked Tony. Oh, I can't because I'm on a plane. I hit everyone up before they left. No one could, either they were flying in or they just didn't drink beer. So I gave the beer away. And lo and behold, Tony had a few too many, and she came out on a patio and went off on me. And I told her, no, 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 you're not going to do this. And she put her finger in my face. It looked like she was going to hit me. And I turned around. Anybody else would have argued. I turned around and I walked away. Why? Because sometimes, folks, you got to walk away and not look back. Isn't that what Lot and his family, they said, uh, walk out of the city and don't look back. And I learned that this is the best thing you can do when you get someone that is so hostile, folks, that you don't know what to do. Just turn around and walk away and never talk to them again. And that's what I've done. And that's what I did to Tony. And I've made a very good friend, Karen. And Karen has been by my side for all these years. Uh, 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 um, she says 2015, almost 10 years ago. So me and Karen have been really good friends for quite a long time. When she thought she would never have grandchildren, now she's got her little peanut. I did the same thing with Dan. Dan, a close friend, he was my cameraman for the longest time, and he says I'll never have grandkids now. And lo and behold, now he's got grandkids. Never give up on, you just got to pray on it. We are a family of faith here. And when you pray and you want something bad enough, maybe you'll get a little peanut like Karen. So that's Karen, mine and Karen's history. So she's been here ever since. And I don't know. I sometimes I wonder why Karen hangs on, or Lee hangs on, or William hangs on, or Susan, or Linda. Linda, it used to be Linda, Linda, Linda. And we only have two Lindas left. And for your new viewers, the third Linda was Linda Ives. And I promised her basically before she passed away that I would continue the fight with the boys on the track here in Arkansas. So if you don't know about the boys on the track, go watch it. Now the wrestler, I don't know. Karen, what do you think of this wrestler? He says he's got a tape. If you got a tape, you got the info, show it. So, anyway, I'm not going to get into politics and we're going to get off onto the news. Boy, this hurricane that is Hurricane Lee, category 5, maybe even a 6 by now. Where is it going to go? Is it going to, I say hit DC, but I mean like that. Karen, what do you think? Uh, uh, you don't follow wrestling? I did when it was Mid South. Oh boy, I was into it. That was a big thing of the South in the 80s. And I started watching the wrestling. And, we had Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And those are the good days. And now, what the heck is going on? Cage matches and, put them in a cage and let them hurt each other. I'm not, I don't know. Why not just stick to the sport of boxing? And oh, you got men's boxing, women's boxing. In fact, I think Muhammad Ali's daughter got into boxing. Karen, I don't follow that. Or I don't follow wrestling. You gotta like Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. But I went to a match one time and I was all excited about it. That was back with Jake the Snake Roberts and the guy with the bird. And I was all excited. And then I watched and I was like, how fake is this? This is just scripted. This is played out. This is moves that they've practiced. And, and if I did that in the 80s, what are you watching, folks? Are you watching entertainment that has been planned for your enjoyment? Think about that. Go to a live match because I didn't understand. I didn't see it until I went to a live match. So go watch, go pay, watch a match, and take a look at. Because I know I'm gonna get hate mail over this wrestling. No, it's real. They're real. Well, go watch it and let me know. Um, now Susan says, I don't like boxing, never understood two people beating the crap out of each other as a sport. Because, but it is a sport. And boxing, done right and stick by the rules, you'll understand a little bit more. Um, I met a gentleman, oh goodness, this was in the, I'm going to say 80s and he was a top boxer. And I asked him that, Karen, not Karen, Susan, why is it that you want to beat the hell out of each other? And he said, no, that's not the point. And the point is a sport that you use, even like wrestling. If you look at wrestling, it's not the same as wrestling as a sport, or they have rules, they have regulations. You can't hurt each other. And that's where we tend to seem that boxing isn't all that fun because we're looking at wrestling and seeing them hurt each other, throwing each other over the railing, grabbing a chair, beating them over the head and the chair. But you'll notice they'll cut themselves. They'll fall and they'll cut. And then they're laying on the floor with this gashing wound. And then you see wrestlers with many, many scars. And they're paid millions for this. So now we look at boxing as a sport and there's no blood. Everybody's like, yeah, beat the hell out of them so we can see blood. No, and how about we do boxing as a sport and there's rules, regulations, and if they knock you to the ground, you don't jump on them and beat them with a chair until they're unconscious and bleeding. So, that's boxing. Don't put boxing down. It's like gymnastics. They take it to the Olympics and look at the sport of it, not the wrestling sport where they want to hurt one another fakely. All right. So we have Hurricane Lee. Boy, it went from a 1 to a 5 overnight. I mean, I got to stay up with the puppy till about 2 or 3. And when I seen it as a 1, then it was a 2, then it was a 3, and then it was a 4, and then by the time I got up this morning, it was a 5, maybe a 6. So this is a very fierce hurricane, and I don't think even the Weather Channel or weather experts it really expected this to grow as fast as it did. Now, where is it going to hit? I don't think they really know, but as it beelines for the East Coast, Karen and Susan, you know, uh, close down the hatches, start making plans because we don't know where this is going to end. So let's hear what Ari, we got Ari today.
Okay, so here's the latest on Hurricane Lee. As of 11 a.m. from the National Hurricane Center, storm has lost just a little bit of strength. It's now a very high-end Category 4 rather than a Category 5, 155-mile-an-hour sustained wind. It's still a remarkably strong storm, and it's going to hang on to that really, really strong status as it moves north of Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands into this weekend. The forecast models have been very consistent, not only with this part of the track, but also as it gets farther toward the north in the Atlantic. Yes, there's more spread between the models, but one thing appears highly unlikely: the idea that this would make a direct impact somewhere along the northeast coast. There is at least a chance that maybe parts of Maine or eastern Canada up in Newfoundland could have some direct impacts. But south of there, the storm's going to stay off the coast. Now, that does not mean that it's not going to be impactful, okay? It does mean that it's highly likely that this is not going to be another Sandy, okay? I don't want people to worry about that. But as storms move farther toward the north in the Atlantic, their wind fields expand. The tropical storm force wind field with the storm is going to be very large. So a couple of things are going to happen that we can say with a pretty good amount of certainty right now. We're going to have some serious rip currents all along the East Coast for a good chunk of next week, especially mid to late week. And if you live in the Northeast, let's say anywhere from the mid Atlantic coast up into coastal parts of New England, we're going to have several high tide cycles where we'll likely have some coastal flooding, even if the storm stays pretty well off the coast. Okay, so be prepared for that right now. If anything changes, we'll let you know, but it appears likely that a direct impact is not going to happen.
Boy, look at that Bermuda. Then we got Hatteras, we got Nantucket, um, and Pennsylvania. Beware, beware. Be careful. Get the water. Get the food. Um, and look at if you're going to lose power, make preparations for this. Candles, lanterns. Um, boy, it's going to be, who knows where it's going to strike. It could, now, I mentioned last week, hurricanes don't turn to the left. They go, they go in and they go right. And so this should go a little bit further and then move out to the right. It's not going to continue a straight track. Now, this is where, folks, I talk about HARP steering hurricanes, and I think it's part of weather wars. And I don't want to get too political on it, but hurricanes do not steer left. And once they go straight and they hit land or any type of land, then they turn a right hand turn. So is it going to be Hatteras? Is it going to be Nantucket that it goes to the right? It's going to go to the right and it'll keep going out to sea. So if it makes a left hand turn, you got to wonder why. So oh boy. So Hurricane Lee rapidly intensifies to a Category 5 this morning And, now they kind of downgrade it to a 4. It's going to go back and forth between a 4, a 6, in between there once it starts building strength as it hits. Now, a hurricane, once it hit land, it'll start going down, but then it'll veer to the right. So we're going to watch over the weekend and see what's up. And if it gets any closer or if it's going to hit land, I'll either post something on Facebook or I'll post a video on my YouTube channel. The latest with earthquakes. Wow. The thing that got me is this morning I had someone send me a powerful 6.2 earthquake, rattles Chile, that was caught on camera. And this is very, if you've never been in an earthquake, and I have, just little ones, well, the big one up in Eureka, it, how to describe it, I heard a bang. It was like a bang or it wasn't a jolt. It was like a bang, like something hit or we were in an apartment. And I thought somebody, and even my kids thought somebody ran into the apartment because it was a bang, a jolt, and it kept going and going. And the shakes kept going and going and going and going and going and going. And that time I yelled, everybody to the door frames. So we all went to the door frames and we're looking at one another, and it kind of went down a little bit, but then we got hit with another one. And I said, run for the front door. Now, why did I want out of our apartment? The guy above us had woodworking equipment. He had heavy machines that, and I'd seen it in the past with San Francisco, that in an apartment complex at Pancakes. So I'm thinking this guy above me with all this heavy, he had 5 different woodworking, metal, automotive, everything that you would have is a big, strong, oh, I don't even know what you call them, machines that help you create things. And they were 300-400 pounds a piece. So I'm thinking 4 or 5 of them, that's at least 1,000 pounds. So I got to get my kids out of the house. So this earthquake rattling affects the earthquake in Chile. And I do want to show this to you. It kind of gives you an idea of what I dealt with during the one that was in Eureka. It was out on the ocean. It was about 50 miles out, but the jolt and the shaking was massive. And then they wanted to downgrade it to like a 6.5. Then they put it to 6.9. Then they put it to 7.0. I believe it was a 7.0. All right, folks. So here we go.
Hurricane Lee.
Oh boy. So you seen the dog was barking. Now, I don't think we had, well, we might have had our dog Waylon at the time, but you could see that it jolts and you can still move around. You're not freaking out. You ride it, you get people out of the house if you think your house isn't safe. And then you kind of just wait. And if your house crumbles, then you go back and you figure out what you need to salvage. All right. I don't want to spend too much time on earthquakes. I do want to do the latest. And so here we go. We had a strong 6.6 south of the Kermadec Islands. And this was about as 40 miles deep. So it would have jolted everybody. Our next biggest is Tonga at a 5.2. Remember yesterday I was saying it was too quiet? Well, now I said maybe today. Yeah, now look at all this. 5.2 in the Mariana Islands. Um, Japan, a fun auto, 5.5. Then we go into the Kermadec Islands of Kamchatka, Starry Russia, 4.8. Then one, just one, up in Petersville, Alaska. So you say, is what about the United States? What about San Andreas? Is it busy? Well, off the coast of Oregon, we had a 3.3. Um, a Bernie, California, 2.5. This is on the fault line. Henshaw, Lake Henshaw, 2.8. Then we have one in Midland, Texas, 3.2. Then at the bottom, uh, going into Central and um, South America, we have a 5.8. I seen 5.9, so that was a 6.0. Now, why is that? It's in the wrong place. If we look at 6.6 and we go straight across, nothing there. If we go straight across the other way, nothing there. But then all of a sudden up north, out of the ordinary, we have a 5.8. And this is the bottom Mexico. Well, what else is in Mexico? Well, no, we had Juarez, Mexico, 4.5. Then we go to on the junction, and it says Triple Junction region of the Galapagos, 4.6. The islands are busy, Puerto Rico, and they're all threes and twos, 3.4 in Dominican Republic, to 3.6. So let's go down to South America. Well, we had Peru with a 4.0. Chile, 4.4, where we had this earthquake a few days ago. What about over there towards Italy, Greece, Emporium? That was a 4.2. And then odd, very odd, Somalia, Kahula, 4.4. Why is that so big? And then 5.0 with the Atlantic Ridge. Nothing up around Iceland on this. Um, Nothing below it. So now where does it go next? Are we going with a 5.0, a 5.8, a 6.6? Where does it go? I usually go straight across. So we going to see another one in Central America. We going to see another one in South America. Or are we going to see one around Libya, Somalia, Yemen? Wow, this is very interesting. And then the lone one out in India, Xiaomi, 4.8. Karen can attest that these are earthquakes that we've never seen before. It's no longer in the same places in the ring of fire. It's now spread out. Now, what people are saying, folks, now I want to remind everybody with these volcanoes blowing, it's going to be a cooler winter. Now, you know what I mean? It's going to be cooler this winter due to the ash that's being spewed by 90% of our volcanoes. And what are they going to say? Is it global cooling? Is it global warming? Is this global climate? This happens when Mother Nature repairs itself. All right, so Hurricane Lee intensifies. And so we're just going to have to wait until we see what it is. Um, a powerful 6.2 earthquake. It rattles Chile, and it was caught on camera. Um, an alien American explorer that was trapped in 3,000 feet deep Turkish cave awaits rescue, and he has been rescued. Well, what gets people to go into a cave this deep by themselves or without a phone? On this day in history, September 8th, 1966, Star Trek series premieres. Who was your favorite? Was it Spock, Captain Kirk, Sulu? Um, now, in the 70s and 80s, I went to the Star Trek conventions, and you were able to walk up and talk to Spock or Sulu or Chekhov or uh, all of them. Now, I don't know about Captain Kirk because he would roam the convention a little bit, and then he would go in and they would have movies or part of the series that were famous, and then he would talk on it. Captain Kirk, that is William Shatner, and you could. What got me was then you had to pay. Then you had to pay to get his signature. But if he was walking around the floor of the convention, you could go up and he would sign them for free. So, what was your favorite one? I have to say mine were tribbles. I bought, when I went to the convention, I bought many, many tribbles. What's the other one I liked? Um, there is so many in the series. And then they moved on and they made the movies. They went on to made a new series. Now it's all new players. Uh, and Star Trek hasn't died over all these years. And then you look at Star Wars. Look at what are they? Star Wars 10 now? Wow. All right. So, close call between two planes in San Diego, possibly caused by blocked radio transmissions. The pilot's controller may have been speaking at the same time, canceling radio transmissions. That's why they need to take turns. I have watched so many interviews on TV that they'll ask a question, they have two hosts, and they're talking over the top of each other. And they should cancel it out and say, ask the question to this person, ask the question to that person. So now we found out that if two people are arguing over a same topic or what to do, if you are in a plane, this transmission is going to be blocked. Investigators said Thursday they had a failed transmission and a distraction of air traffic controller led to a close call between Southwest Airlines and a smaller plane waiting to take off. Both planes had been cleared to use the runway, and the Transportation Safety Board said the controller told the crew of Southwest plane to exit the runway. Then the directed of the Southwest pilots to cut short their landing approach instead of to circle around the airport. So you know what they did? They said, okay, you can take off. And this other plane's going to land. Just don't play chicken with them. Really? Are you going to fly on something that does that? Wow. A Bali resort elevator plunges 300 feet down, killing 5 staff members. And it's all under infrastructure, folks, because if you don't take care of your infrastructure, you're going to have a fall of mechanical issues that are going to cause a lot of these things to collapse, like elevators. Or what about sinkholes? When have we ever addressed sinkholes? This ain't my video I want. So when we look at these sinkholes, remember the one that swallowed the house? It's still going. They're still hearing it fall deeper and deeper and deeper. And this is it a fault line? Is it the sinkhole? Is it caused due to caves? We don't know. And they're not really looking into the scientific reasoning of it. We just have to kind of wait until they decide they're going to look into it and find out why we're having deep earthquakes in the ocean that's causing land to collapse. Boy, this one here, I was kind of stumped by this because we have a mysterious golden globe discovered by researchers on the Alaskan floor. To me, folks, this looks like something off one of our uh, airplanes, maybe off our ships. Who knows? That just look, and it's gold, and it's kind of flattened out. But is that a mechanical part of an airplane, a ship, or someone that just threw junk over a ship? They don't know, and they this unidentified specimen photographed in the wet lab of NOAA ship, um, Okeanos Explorer, and it was seen on September 30th of this year during a seventh um, exploration in Alaska waters. Um, it's remotely operated vehicle exploration and mapping expedition. That's what this is. So they were mapping because how do we know what is ours if we are now seeing islands due to the drought? Do we need to rename the islands, or do we need to wait and see if they're going to sink? Huh. Um, Huge 420-year-old fish species is rediscovered in the Indiana Ocean. Now, this thing, to me, it looks like any other fish. But, to the scientists and the wildlife, they say, wait a minute now, you have to look at this fish and see that it is a new species that has not been seen in 420 years. That's why I keep saying, get down deep. We need to get into deep waters to find out what's down there. And more, the farther we go, the more we're starting to see that there are fish and sharks, tinier fish, shrimp, clams. Something down deep is a little bit different. Are we gonna pull it up, or are we gonna wait till after the election? Boy, um, more than 600 cases of dog food have been recalled, folks. This is the FDA, and the company issued voluntary recall for the popular Victor Superman Premium dog food, the High Pro Plus, that was produced at its Mount Pleasant, Texas facility. The reasoning for the recall, approximately 644 cases of dog food, should potentially be contaminated with salmonella. So if you have got this, if you have uh, a part of the 600 cases of this super premium dog food, the High Pro Plus, if you've got that sitting in your kitchen and you're feeding your dogs, get rid of it. Go and look. This, was a recall by Yahoo Life. And go look. If you've been buying this food, go check out the article and then make your mind up. And it's your choice. It's not my choice. It's not this article's choice. It's your choice of what you're feeding your dog. Um, Study uncovers a disturbing side effects of using microwaves. We've always known this. Mentally, it's unleashing hordes of tiny plastic particles, more than 2 billion nanoplastics and 400 microplastics per square centimeter. Alarming, they don't know yet for sure how these synthetic materials are impacting our bodies. Even this one study should be a wake-up call, not just to parents, but to the FDA. Judith Enck, former EPA administrator, whose president advocacy group, Beyond Plastics. They need to be far more proactive. It's not about getting the baby formula to everyone. It's about getting it there safely. Karen, now you got a baby. And now if you found out that 600 cases are tainted. Now you're going to have to go look for another brand, another type, which your baby's used to. And now you're switching formulas, and and even a doctor, pediatrician, will tell you don't switch formulas. So what do they do? What is this government doing to our babies? What are they doing? Yeah, I'm glad. My daughter is now too old. Now I'm looking at great grandchildren, and I fear for them, for this next generation, because we don't know what has been forced upon us that we are doing because the government says we have to. But it's not only with Black Lives Matter, not only with the gay community. It's dangerous times, and so this show, boy, I tell you what, this show, we need happy moments in news. What's a happy moment? When we see a three-legged bear yesterday, open up a refrigerator with the one paw, had no right hand leg, and he was able to brace himself, open the fridge, and drink a bunch of beer. That's amazing. That is when you capture something like that on camera, be amazed, laugh, and have fun with it. Okay, lessons learned. Oh boy, the funny post. Oh boy, let's get that out of there. Oh, it's not leaving. There we go. Huh. Check that out. I'm all messed up there. Um, wow. I got all kinds of strange say. Somebody don't want me to do this. Oh boy. Oh, now look at there. Wow. Um, oh, there we go. Wow. Well, what the heck is going on here? Do 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 do. I don't know, Karen. I don't know what to think of this. Now I have my computer doing the weirdo thing. Am I haunted? No. Am I hacked? Well, could be. All right. So, um, I really, I think, no, I didn't lose it. Um, so lessons learned. Wow. I go to pull up my joke page or a joke page I pulled today, and it's like one, two, yeah, it all got messed up. All right. I've learned that you cannot make someone love you. All you can do is stalk them and hope they panic and give in. Yeah, stalk them until they love you. Lessons learned. I've learned that no matter how much I care, some people are just assholes. Yikes. I've learned that you can get by on charm for about 15 minutes. After that, you better have a really good plan for loving them. I've learned that you can keep puking long after you think you're finished. I've learned that no matter how you try to protect your children, they will eventually get arrested and end up in the local paper. Uh, Karen, me and Karen's got grown up kids. And my son, before he passed away, he always ended up in jail, and they would call me, and it was a mess. You can raise your kids to the point of 18, 17, 16. And when they decide on their own how they're going to act, that's when what do you do? Do you put them on restriction? Do you punish them when they do wrong? They're just too big. That's what we need the counselors to write books on, because they always write about little kids. And lo and behold, you get a 15-year-old and there's nothing there. All right, so I'm going to have to end the show. Boy, I'm running into one show to the next, but we got trivia coming up. Trivia, do you know your commercial ads? Now, I know I probably did this a few weeks ago, so um, these are new ones, and let's see if you know your commercial ads. And I know Linda and Linda, and a few others. Mary say why this is too. It's I don't know the answers. Well, if you watched TV from the 50s until now, these are jingles or commercials that you should know. We keep hearing them over and over and over and over again. And where are these great commercials? Huh? They don't seem to make them anymore. All right, folks, subscribe, hit the like button. Karen, I thank you very much for being the moderator. Uh, and I told Lee to get a hold of Karen a little bit more. I might have to have Karen and Lee on the show, on my new show that comes up on the hour. So subscribe, hit the like, share, definitely share the show. Lifestyle, weather, and news. We get a little bit of everything. It's not so much politics, folks. So and share it and invite people to watch. They can look at my joke page. They can watch the weather and lifestyle news, and they don't have to watch the political part of my news. That's what I'm hoping. Go watch the fun stuff if you don't want to hear about hardcore news. So, all right, folks, that is it. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes and with trivia. Now, jump in and comment on trivia. You never know. You might beat Karen. Karen is the one to beat today. I say jump in if you think you know this. Jump in and comment, and let's hog tie and force feed chocolate chip cookies to Karen today, or we can at least throw popcorn at her. Yeah, we'll throw popcorn so that she doesn't win. All right, folks, we will see you on Monday. If not, come on back in about 10, 15 minutes, and for trivia and news. And we thank you very much for supporting and watching our show and sharing it. Share, share, share. Get these people and bug your friends to subscribe.